She says she doesn't think about desire that much, yet she spends an hour in front of the mirror, not choosing comfort, but lace, silk, seduction disguised. She says she's not that sexual, but her private searches reveal hunger, a hunger she will never admit out loud. The truth is this: women are not less consumed by sex than men. Often they are more, but their obsession looks different. You reduce desire to hunger, see beauty, feel need, seek release, a straight line. Her desire is not a line, it is a labyrinth. It stretches across time, past, present, future. She feels the sermons of childhood, the weight of reputation, the question of worth. You are thinking of tonight. She is thinking of everything at once. You are playing checkers. She is playing chess across dimensions. The confusion around sex is a cultural wound. For centuries, women were told that their desire diminished their value, that it made them impure, sinful, unworthy. Then, almost overnight, society commanded them to become radiant symbols of sexual empowerment, to display what had long been forbidden. The result is chaos. A woman divided, carrying her grandmother's voice, warning that nice girls don't, while the glowing screen insists she must flaunt her sensual freedom. She burns with passion in one moment and shuts down the next, because inside her is a battlefield where instinct fights programming, where what she wants collides with what she has been told she should want. From birth, she has been marinated in contradictions. Be alluring, but never indecent. Be open, but not easy. Be passionate, but never desperate. Desire, but never too much. Enjoy, but never more than he does. The impossible balancing act becomes her second skin, and her sexuality grows tangled in disclaimers and conditions like fine print in a contract no one reads. For her, desire is not just physical, it is historical. It is the echo of who she was, the reflection of who she is, and the seed of who she is still becoming. The random day she leapt into your arms was not random at all. It followed an invisible chain. She had conquered something at work, felt acknowledged, remembered her vitality, and suddenly her body became fluent in a forgotten language. The week she turned cold, she had seen herself in an unkind photograph, heard a mother's casual cruelty about weight, or felt her own invisibility in a crowded room. Her sexuality is woven into the shifting climate of her inner world, an ecosystem as fragile as it is alive. If her first lover treated sex as a gift she bestowed, she learned her role was to give, not receive. If she was raised where bodies were cloaked in shame, she learned to treat her desire like an enemy signal to be blocked. If her culture taught that sexual women were degraded, she learned to want while despising herself for wanting. You imagine you face only her, but in truth you face every message, every judgment, every wound etched into her memory. Your arousal is simple, automatic, honest, see, want, pursue. Her arousal is a circus requiring psychology, physiology, and cognition to all align perfectly, or else the entire tent collapses. Her body may whisper yes, but her mind frets about tomorrow's presentation and the curtain falls. Her mind may lean toward you, but if she feels swollen or awkward, desire fades. She may be emotionally connected, but one small memory of a careless word you spoke can evaporate passion in an instant. And here lies the cruel irony. She can make love with no arousal, and you would never know. Where you require the fuel of physical readiness, she has lived entire chapters on empty performing ecstasy she did not feel, producing passion out of thin air while her thoughts wandered elsewhere. She has been trained since adolescence to wear desire like a costume, to turn herself on for your sake even when she is numb, to be sexy when she feels broken, to be available when she longs to disappear, to appear ignited when inside she is cold. You count orgasms and frequency like trophies. She may have neither, but she smiles and tells you it was beautiful, because it is easier than trying to explain the 40 invisible forces that govern whether she can feel alive in that moment. Her sexuality is not a matter of skin and touch alone. It is a psychological equation. She must feel desired, yet not objectified, powerful, yet unburdened, present, yet not under a microscope, safe, but never suffocated. To arouse her is to strike a moving target in the dark, where one word, one expression, one flicker of self-consciousness can end everything. You stand baffled because her desire burns brightly one moment and vanishes the next, unaware that something as small as an ex's social post or a passing insecurity can dismantle the entire architecture. While you lose yourself in passion, she is conducting an endless analysis in her mind. Does this position flatter me? Am I too loud? Not loud enough? Why did he shift just then? Did I do something wrong? Is this what she did for him? Am I better or am I less? You dissolve into the moment. She fights a war of comparison, evaluation, and doubt. You think attraction is about the surface of muscles and gestures. But her deepest fantasies are archetypes, psychological scripts older than language itself. She dreams not of wealth, but of the man who could command entire worlds yet falls to pieces before her. She longs to be the exception to power, the one force capable of bending strength. The fantasy of the billionaire is not of riches. It is of exclusivity, of being chosen above all others. The allure of the authority figure is not the title, but mastery. The surgeon whose steady hands save lives, the chef who rules a kitchen like a general, the professor whose voice captivates a hall. These ignite her because competence is foreplay, expertise is erotic. When you fixed her car once, she felt stirred in a way your endless talk about sports never could. Excellence itself seduced her. Then comes the beast, the primal danger only she can tame. Every vampire, every werewolf, every outlaw romance whispers the same story. He is violent with the world, yet vulnerable in her arms. He could destroy, but he chooses to protect. He is wolf to all, yet lamb in her presence. She does not crave safety alone. She craves power restrained, a hand capable of violence that chooses tenderness because of her. She wants to be the one who can pet the beast without fear. This is why the small gestures of protection strike so deeply. Your hand guiding her through a crowd, your instinct to shield her. It is not about masculinity performed, but about being the sanctuary where she knows she is cherished above all. There is also the mystery, the aloof man who withholds himself. To her psyche, he is intoxicating. Every woman believes she can be the one to crack the unreachable shell, to reach the heart no one else has touched. While you flood her with constant messages, she is haunted by the man who remains elusive. Your eagerness is sweet, but it is the distance, the lock she longs to pick, that fuels her instincts. She does not want everything given freely. She wants to earn it, to conquer it, to feel chosen by what resists her. All these archetypes share a single theme: strength paired with selective softness, power made vulnerable only in her hands. Not weakness, but restraint, not submission, but intimacy born from choice. When she was 20, she chased the dangerous ones, the men who didn't text back, who appeared at odd hours, who lived as if commitment were a foreign language. She was not naive. She was hungry for intensity, for stories worth telling, for the fire of uncertainty. Every unanswered message was foreplay, every mixed signal a spark of adrenaline. It was proof she was alive, proof she was wanted, proof she could dance on the edge. By her late 20s, after heartbreaks and therapy, after sleepless nights over men who never stayed, her desires shifted. The once overlooked protector now appeared as husband material, not out of resignation, but because stability itself became a new kind of passion. Reliability grew romantic, the promise of a future more seductive than chaos. Yet she still mourned the wildness, still scrolled past the shadows of her past flames, still felt the echo of their pull before returning to the safety of her present. The bad boy taught her that she could ignite desire. The protector teaches her that she is invaluable. 2 lessons, 2 seasons of her evolution. As she matures further, authority becomes the magnet. In her 30s, having carved her own identity, she no longer seeks completion. She seeks resonance. She does not need status. She desires mastery. The mentor who guides by day and consumes by night. The surgeon, the entrepreneur, the man whose excellence mirrors her own. No longer is she impressed by your potential. She demands actuality. Competence, mastery, and presence become the music to which her body responds. Some women cycle through these archetypes over years, others in mere days. On Friday night, she may crave the beast, wild, primal, reckless. By morning, she seeks the protector, gentle, steady, attentive. By evening, she yearns for the billionaire archetype, decisive, commanding, making her feel chosen. By Sunday, she desires the mystery, distant, making her fight to feel noticed. Meanwhile, you cling to the role that first won her, blind to the fact that she has already journeyed through several transformations. You offer danger when she longs for safety, aloofness when she longs for competence, and you wonder why the spark fades. It is not that she has changed beyond recognition. It is that you failed to evolve alongside her inner archetypal voyage. Every woman carries unique configurations of three forces: psychological, physiological, and cognitive. Her psychology is her sexual self-image, delicate and complex. Does she see herself as radiant or ruined, powerful or pathetic? Her physiology is her body's raw response, honest but easily misread. One woman requires endless buildup, another a spark of intensity. But many have never met their own truth, buried beneath years of performing what was expected. And her cognition, the silent commentator, often sabotages the other two, flooding her mind with questions, doubts, meanings, until the moment crumbles. Rare is the alignment of all three, but when it comes, she becomes the goddess you once glimpsed and have been chasing ever since. She does not awaken through touch alone, but through the unfolding of meaning, through the sequence of story, sensation, and presence. For her, arousal begins long before the body. It begins in the way you carry yourself, in the weight of your voice, in the certainty of your gestures. Every woman holds her own pattern, her own secret order. And when you miss it, nothing works. But when you find it, she opens like a hidden garden, not because you forced the lock, but because you knew how to listen. She is not a puzzle to solve, but a song to learn. In her words, in her silences, in the fantasies she lingers on, she leaves the notes behind. Most men are deaf to them, but the one who hears, who moves in rhythm with her unspoken music, becomes unforgettable. Because he is not simply touching her body, he is touching her story, her longing, her truth. And in that moment, she is not pretending, not performing, but finally free to desire without restraint.